5:32 right now, and the music is simply better only here at NAST first podcast series. Anyways, good morning, good morning, good morning, Sindangan, especially for those broken-hearted and those feeling broken-hearted. Maayong buntag day no sa mga lami og love life. Maayong buntag sab sa mga gipang kasakitan, gipang biyaan. Maayong buntag sa mga gipang binuangan. And hello po di ay no sa mga wala pa ka-move on. And hello sa mga way planong mag-move on. Anyway, for today's program, lakas maka-vlogger no? Bitaw. Hello, all aboard besties. Welcome to the first episode of the first podcast series of the year and the overall second quarter of the school year na, di ba bestie, no? Starting this off, I'm John the Viscultor, but you can call me JD, the hot and spicy, but not your Coca-Cola buddy. Kay ang nawong pang ice candy from grade 12 UM student, your first bestie. I'm Rachel Ann Magulta from grade 12 UM students, from your one other bestie for this episode. My bestie and I welcome you all together in this month of Feb podcast series entitled Thank You Past. Yes, hello to all of our listeners. Welcome kayo lahat dito mga Mars. My, how time does fly no, bestie? Anong araw na ba ngayon, bestie? So true, bestie. And actually today is Friday and I've noticed, besties, that some of the Griffins didn't follow our strict dress code, no? And that dress code is on Wednesday. We wear self-love. Yes, you heard it. Her first, bestie. But before we officially start, let us insert a trigger warning. For there will be discussing of some sensitive topics such as mentions of mental health that may be triggering to some listeners. So continuing on, bestie JD, how was the first coming from a grade 11 UM student? Ay, murag kabalo na magid ko sa tubag ani no, pero in all seriousness though, there was a lot of ups and downs. Like, who knew na pwede ikram ang tibuok second quarter, no? My God, grade 12 power. Pero actually, yes, it was stressful, pero at the same time, it was also fun. Because right now, you're not alone just in front of your screens right now with your friends personally, and your teachers are actually in front of you that actually forces you to listen. Grabe, no? Actually, abstress gamay kayo slight akong first quarter, no? Second quarter, my God! Grabe ka bagsak! Pero, secret na nasa to, ah. Pero actually, bestie, for you, since same at grade 12, how does it feel karong first SAM, and how did you overcome those stress and struggles? So, how is it, bestie? Personally, bestie, my first SAM was a roller coaster, definitely. Or should I say, it looks like an elevator from Ayala na you came from the ground and once when it opens, boom, you're at the top of the building. Then, usahay, dali lang ang journey but most of the times, murag dugay-dugay jud siya. Dugay-dugay jud ka maabot nga murag may pagarural na lang ka or ga-teleport. Unsa ba? Anyway, my first SAM, I would say, it was very, very eventful. There were a lot of activities, meet new people, new memories that I cherish from the year. The last year, no? For the first quarter naman, it was definitely a big change. Kasi, modular kasi tayo, diba? Tapos naging blended, half days, with batches, then blended ulit. Murag, grabe siya takapila. Grabe siya ta naka-experience of transition this year. Then, last 2020, 2021, way back from grade 10, from the previous school that I attended, were too early to start our school year. So, the school year also ended earlier than most. So, I think around like almost 3 to 4 months ang aming summer breaks. So, from almost months break of being an official Griffin, dako-dako siya na change. And also, within those months, my personality, mindset, my principles, and where my priorities lie. And you know what? A lot change really changed and I've got to go better. So right now I was stuck at home for the better part of those months, even though there wasn't really a lot of going on. Bisan nara kag balay, balik-balik ka siya. I would say that that was probably the most eventful summer breaks of my life. Best, you know? And the things I've learned really helped me to go through the first and second quarter. So coming that age and that being general, kumbaga, wow, grabe bestie, no? Murag judging from your side, so much can really happen in a year. A year seems so little, yet a bundle of miracles, surprises, experiences, and changes can happen and blossom from within. There's a lot of expected and unexpected kaganapan. But for you, bestie, what are the changes for you from the past year that something changed you from your initial self in the start of 2023 compared to your latest self at the end of 2022? Kana jud basti, when we open the topic of change, it's such a big word, no? Because if you think about it, really, how would you really know if you change? Kasi you've been you while going through changes from where you were and where you were right now. You still you, so it kind of kind of hard to imagine how much you change kasi you've stayed yourself as you go through those changes. That makes sense. You know, I'm a shy type person, an introvert kumbaga, but right now a lot of change, my physical appearance, mental health, emotional, and even spiritual. I mean, I've changed a lot, bestie. So yeah. Ikaw naman, JD, diha nga side, did anything change ba? Well, of course, you know, since a lot can happen in a year, obviously, people will definitely change. And for me, I guess I kind of relate from what you said, that you came from being an introvert who's slightly becoming a more extroverted self, you know, becoming more extroverted, Rachel. And for me, I also was the same, and I can't really say that I became fully an extroverted JD, but I guess I'm taking it one step at a time, because before I was so introverted to the point that maghinom-hinom lang ko, like wala jud ko, like I'm just a shadow kumbaga to other people, and I would stay there and listen and wonderfully try it as much. You know, I was too scared to come out of my comfort shell. With 2022, like what happened in 2022, I've changed so much. Like right now, I'm actually craving for people's attention more. I'm craving for people's presence more, and I became more ambitious towards myself and my future. And actually, I was already ambitious before, but it was pure, though there was no action kumbaga, and that was really something for me, because now I'm getting every opportunity I can get from each job, you know, from each event that I can find. Like, grabe siya kahago ron, pero it's actually a relief for myself, because, you know, I'm acting more and socializing more and I'm talking more, and it feels amazing jud siya actually. Yes, wow, like that a really great change for you, for us, bestie. I'm so happy to hear that there's someone who was there, shares similar story as mine. So cheers for us, bestie, for overcoming those changes. Exactly, bestie. Anyway, let's hear and relate and read the message of our listeners. So unsa may naa din ha, bestie? So this has actually caught my attention, no, bestie, from one of our listeners nga nagpaila sa code name nga okay na ko, nga okay na ka. Os, grabe ka hugot man, uy. Anyway, his question goes like this. Since the pandemic began in 2022, my mental health is like riding a roller coaster. One minute I'm happy and positive, and the next I'm miserable, asking why am I even here. I question myself in daily basis. Okay, guys, murag sakit-sakit guys siya sa heart, no? Okay, grabe kit kayo ko ka-relate. God. Amen na lang. Pero actually, what actually he was trying to say was, I'm sure everyone can relate. Like, mental health is a very big part of our life, because that is how that is where we get our actions from, our decisions from life, because that is where we get our actions in every it is and it has a very big factor on how we do things and how we see things in life. So bale, if we had a bad mental health, kumbaga like fluctuating mental health, it would be difficult to keep things constant in your life. So bale, when they said the hair riding a roller coaster, it's you can definitely say that there are really ups and downs. It's very it's very hard to determine what really is, and when you are facing an enemy or challenge, you have to know who you're up against or what you're up against with. Pero when it comes in mental health, it's so different na everyday na lang lahi-lahi ang, and that is why we consider mental health is daily challenge. And it's not just that, it's not just mental health that is now considered as a daily challenge. Narasab ng ato ang social life, ato ang friends, ato ang family, ato ang akad's life especially. So definitely we have all those things connected to our mental health, but also connect to us as human beings. If one malfunctions or destructs, or I guess being negatively affected, and obviously it will correlate to our mental health, and which can affect ourselves as a person. So bale, it's not an easy fit, people get to experience this every day, and dili baya lalim no, labayan ka every day og challenge ni Lord. It's very hard to keep up, it's very draining, it's very frustrating, especially pag dili nimo siya kaya, or if you keep trying and you still fail. Lagot ka siya sa imong self, but then again, trials and challenges always comes, they never fail, because God gave them to us as a challenge, as a stepping stone to learn in life. But then again, unsaon man na kung everyday gihatag ni Lord, everyday na lang, every minute, every second, every hour, murag over na pud kayo, no? Murag kapoy na pud kayo sa ato ang self, no? Pero actually, those are challenges that we must experience, di ba, bestie? So true, bestie. Kanang duha kasi, no, that changes and challenges for me, these are the only things that are constant in life. A lot of people will experience these two C's as something negative and ones that they like to avoid, and I can say that it's different because changes are hard to accept and challenges are even harder so to overcome. But again, changes is constant, and with those changes, challenges will always come from within. So I think that's it. Back to you, JD. So true, bestie. Thank you very much, bestie. And thank you for our listeners. I hope you've learned a lot and you're having a lot of fun. Sana marami kayong napulot na aral sa episode na ito. So I think that's it. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Once again, I am John Davi Sculptor, but you can call me JD, the hot and spicy, but not your Coca-Cola buddy, kay ang nawong pang ice candy. And I'm Rachel Ann Maguta, your first bestie. Thank you, guys. Thank you.